I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else!
Located on the north side of Fort Worth, the construction of Texas Motor Speedway began in the spring of 1995 and required the movement of more than 4 million cubic yards of earth before it was completed the following year. The oval originally featured a unique dual-angle banking in its first major race. A NASCAR Xfinity Series event in April of '97 was won by Mark Martin. Jeff Burton won the first NASCAR Cup Series race the following day in front of a sellout crowd of over 200,000. 2 months later, Kenny Irwin won the first NASCAR Truck Series race held at TMS. Track has also been good to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He won his first ever Xfinity Series race there in 1998, and then 2 years later won his first Cup Series event. Shortly after Junior's Xfinity Series win, the oval was reconfigured, eliminating the 8-degree section of dual-angle banking. Tonight, it's race number 11 of the Beadles Custom Car Carriers Truck Series, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Texas Motor Speedway for the Beadles Custom Car Carriers Truck Series, race number 11 of season 18. Take a look at the race details for tonight. 125 laps the race distance, 74-degree ambient temperature, 62% humidity under clear skies. A little breezy out here in Texas, 18 miles per hour. Track temp, pretty warm too, 117 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with an 85% fuel load on board tonight. 2 sets of tires over the wall. That's it, just 2. Talking about fast repairs, count them. 0, zip, zilch. None this evening. Full course cautions, yep, they'll be here tonight. Wrong one. We're not on a road course. We don't care. Green, white, checkered finishes, though. We have up to 3 if necessary. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. About a minute and a half left in the session. Best time so far is the 6 of Caleb Sisk. 30.07. Brian McCann just shy at 30.08. Stream Chatter's already in there. Few new schemes from Nick Biddy Designs tonight. You got Chris Fahey in there. Says, hi, Steve. Let's go 19. She's here to watch her son wreck. Just kidding. Taking a look at some point standings for tonight, though. This is the Davidson Builders full season standings. Connor Leach, Brian McCann, Caleb Sisk, who interestingly enough still sits third in the standings, though has not made all of the races, so it just gives you an idea of how quick he's been. Chris Goins fourth, Ryan Pasoko fifth, and further on down the line. Additionally, we have a secondary points. This is the Silver Championship standings. Headed up by Paul Durkee, Tom Welch, Justin Lawson, Vincent Short, and Sean Roberts. That presented by Gulf Coast Sand. And you see to the right hand of your screen there, Sisk Speed Shop, otherwise known as S3 there, top of the charts. Then TBM, Track Bar Motorsports, then Lone Star Racing, the Goats, and then the Outcasts. Practice just about over with. Black and red flags drop on the session. So with that, we'll jump right into qualifying. We'll see who takes to the track first. Handful of drivers. Larry Dickerson appears to be the first one to roll. We'll watch the number 69 take to the track. Larry runs a bunch of different paint schemes throughout the season. This is honestly one of my favorites. Just the color on that truck just pops really well. The fluorescent yellow on the door number, roof number, rear spoiler, matched up with the black and the blue. Looks good. Larry into turns 3 and 4 here. Should get a time in. Third quick so far, 30.962 for Larry. Vince Short fastest for now, a 30.46. We'll jump over to Vince here. The number 15 track bar media machine. First lap again, a 46. We'll see if he can pick it up here on lap number 2. Not sure if first lap or seconds quicker. We're going to get an idea here in just a moment. Vince off turn 4 into the dog leg. Just barely clips the grass. Picks it up, but not by much. Maybe half a tenth gained, and he drops down to the second spot with Mike Fahey going top to the board. 30.416. Nick Biddy, fourth quick on his first lap. He's into the dog leg here. Has a 51 standing. Let's see if he picks up a faster lap here. He does. He goes to the point. 30.303 for the 32. Brandon Coleman, the number 11. Third quick, 383 for Brandon Coleman. Oh, and he money shifted there at the end. Almost blew it up. That's okay. It's not going to hurt him in the race. And Dylan Bryant goes top of the board. 30.29 for the 52. First lap invalidated, but lap 2 was fast, fast, fast. Ben McKinnon, 20th on the board thus far. .818 jumps up to 17th. Old Albert Anderson, 30.577. 12th quick, across the line. And Albert Anderson goes to the point, 30.245 for the number 99. Still a handful of drivers have yet to take a time. Our top 21 drivers have attempted. Then it's Eddie Rose, Rick LePage, Jason Steptoe, Sisk, Lawson, Leach, Barish, Bennett, Truxell, Gones, McCann, and Roberts still to hit the racetrack. Gones is rolling. He's on his outlap. Track temp still 117 degrees. Still a breezy day here in Texas at 18 miles per hour. Jones crossed the line, 12th quick, 30.502. He's got another lap to go. Can he pick it up? Needs to go pretty much 2.5 tenths quicker here if he's going to knock Anderson off that top spot. And picks it up, not quite enough, but still a solid attempt just outside the top 5. P6 for Chris Gones, 30.393. Double O Joe on the racetrack. We got the Vigilante Racing Network in the chat. Says, hey, Steve, it's Lori. Good luck tonight, guys. Lori's getting all official on us. 15th quick for Joe Bennett, 30.574 with another lap to go. Meanwhile, Connor Leach has taken the top spot from Albert Anderson with a 30.22. Close, tight margins here in qualifying. No, Double O Joe in the fence off of turn 4. He's going to hit hard here at start-finish. That'll do it for his attempt. 15th, the lap of record. I don't know what happened there. Justin Lawson crosses the stripe in the meantime, 38.01. 21st quick with another lap to go. 3 minutes left in the session. Brian McCann has pulled out of pit lane here. He's on his out lap. We'll follow the lap of the 7 here in just a moment. We'll let Lawson complete his. Oh, real loose off of 4 again. Sunshine beaten down. Track temp still about the same. Lawson goes 19th with a 6.89. Could have been a much better lap if it weren't for that moment off of turn 4. Here comes Brian McCann. Brian McCann across the line, 23rd on his first lap. Definitely a throwaway for the 7. 30.917. He's going to need to see a big pickup here. Brian McCann across start finish. Where does he land? And he did it. 30.155 seconds. Brian McCann pole position here at Texas. He's not locked it in just yet. Great lap for McCann, but there's still a heavy hitter or two left. One of them being Caleb Sisk. Caleb is 6:01 on his first lap. His fastest in practice by about 100th. Not even, it was 1,000th, I believe, over Brian McCann. Sisk across the line. No. P6, 30.305. Solid effort for Caleb. Still going to be a big-time factor in this race, I believe. John Roberts, 31.01 for his first lap. .751, 24th. The lap of record for Roberts as qualifying comes to a close. That'll do it. So with qualifying in the books, it's time for our starting grid. Let's take a look at it. On the pole position with a lap time of 30.155 seconds, it's the 7 of Brian McCann. Outside pole, the 71 of Connor Leach. Missed it by 71 thousandths. Just shows you how fast that number 7 was. Row number 2, it's Albert Anderson and Dylan Bryant. Row 3, it's Nick Biddy and Caleb Sisk. Row number 4, it's Paul Durkee with Brandon Coleman to his right elbow. Row 5, it's the 4, Chris Gones, and the 19 of Mike Fahey. 11th starter, it's Chris Klein. 12th belongs to Vincent Short. Starting in the 13th position, it's the 3 of Skylar Herod. Tommy Welch will start 14th. 15th starter, it's Carson Rowland. 16th belongs to the 21 of Jesse Redding. Double O Joe will start 17th. Ryan Pisoko starts 18th. Jarrett Woodard 19th. 20th, Joe David. 21st starter is Justin Lawson. Jonathan Marsh will start 22nd. 23rd starter, Scott Milner. Sean Roberts will start 24th. Ben McKinnon, 25th. Larry Dickerson, 26th. Ryan Kemper will roll from the 27th spot with Russ Endicott starting 28th. 29th starter, it's Mark Truxell in the 5. Eddie Rose, 30th. 31st starter, it's Rick LePage. Jason Steptoe will roll 32nd. And last but not least, the 55 of Tom Barish. Large crowd on hand here at Texas Motor Speedway. Still waiting on 2 drivers to grid up, Jason Steptoe and Tom Barish. You can roll off a little sooner if they get gridded up, but it appears not to be the case. Base truck's going to roll away. Race details again here, 125 laps, 75-degree temperature, 59% humidity, clear skies, 20-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp coming up slightly at 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers with an 85% fuel load, 2 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, 3 attempts, and a green-white checkered finish. Pace truck hits pit lane. We are ready to get things underway here from Texas Motor Speedway. Barney with the green in hand. And there it is. Green flag at Texas Motor Speedway. We're racing. Out to the early lead, takes it down the back straightaway, leads the field into 3. Battle for second is on. Albert Anderson jumps to the inside of Connor Leach. Leach yields the position for the time being. Drivers out of turn number 4. First lap in the books. Brian McCann leads it. Got to give a hey to Tom Janikowski with the high five and the checkered flag, but we are just getting things underway. Tom, thanks for checking in. Battle for position, Paul Durkee and Caleb Sisk. Sisk on the bottom gets clear, moves up into the 5th spot. Watching the battle here, Justin Lawson and Scott Milner. Lawson in the 18th position. Milner will tuck back in behind. Now we're watching Carson Rowland in the number 90 Toyota. Trying to hold off Joe Bennett. And right there, about a truck length off the back bumper. Switches lanes offset to the outside just slightly. Trying to get some air on the nose of that truck to provide optimum downforce. Milner now under pressure. Jarrett Woodard looking to the outside, or maybe it's the other way around. Milner may be looking low. Skylar Harrod in some new colors this week in his number 3 machine. Here comes Vincent Short, close to the back bumper of the 3. Actually upsets the balance of that machine slightly. No contact was made, but definitely took the air off that rear spoiler. Vince jumps to the outside here, trying to take advantage. This would be for the 20th position. Vince running in the 21st spot now. He's down 9 from the start. Not sure if Vince had a problem at the beginning of this race. Nevertheless, the truck looks clean. He's trying to fight his way back forward. Back out front, Brian McCann continues to lead over Albert Anderson, Connor Leach, Nick Biddy, and Caleb Sisk. That's your top 5. 2 S3 drivers in the top 5. 3, that is. Leach, Sisk, and Biddy in various orders. And we got Gabby Benura in the chat, says, woohoo, Sisk Speed Shop, number 3. Skylar Harrod back in the 20th spot, needs to work his way up. Get with his teammates there in the top 5. Give him some time. He'll get there. Ten laps in here at Texas Motor Speedway, top 3. Putting a little bit of gap back to 4th. Not much, though. Caleb Sisk, if he's back that far, it's probably because he wants to be. You don't want to be too close to the lead trucks. Get that dirty air, takes the air off the nose of your truck. Creates a little bit of a tight condition. Nick Biddy running roughly in the tire tracks up to 6 as well. Meanwhile, Justin Lawson has had an issue out on the track. Looks like he's come back on. This was about a handful of laps ago. Let's see if we can catch it. What happened here with Justin Lawson? Oh, Tommy Welch slow. This is through the dog leg. Lawson drives it through the grass, but man, did he do a good job to let that go through the grass and not turn into a much, much bigger problem. Scott Miller with a little off-road excursion as well. Guys got lucky there. Good job. So again, Lawson back in the 28th position after that near miss. On board with the race leader, Brian McCann, looking back at the field. Everybody's starting to separate a bit. Top 10 separated by just about the length of the front stretch through the dogleg. So McCann out to about a 3/4 second advantage over Albert Anderson. Anderson almost the same back to Connor Leach. We'll call it half a second and about 4 or 5 trucks from Leach to Sisk. You got Brett Balch in the chats cheering on Durkee, Mr. Paul Durkee, that is. Durkee running back in the 6th position. Durkee, the number 13 KOA RV share Silverado. Dylan Bryant in the 11th spot, taking that away from the 11 of Coleman. Mike Fahey trying to do the same, wants to follow the 52 on through. Oh, the number 90 truck, I think, a little out of shape. That was the 80. Jonathan Marsh gathered it up. Marsh running in 17. Skylar Herod going to take the spot from Vincent Short. Herod in that 3 truck. Crossover attempted here by Short, but not enough room, and he pushes up the racetrack as soon as he gets the air taken away off the nose of his machine. Back to start finish. So Herod takes it. Short now sits in the 19th position. Dylan Bryant looking to the inside. Lap time's already starting to get longer here. Fast time for Brian McCann so far this race, a 30.48. His last lap, a 32.01. Tire fall off, definitely a thing here in the Truck Series on this hot racetrack here in Texas. Doesn't appear to be slowing him down as much as everybody else, as McCann has jumped out to a 2-second advantage over the 99 of Albert Anderson. Caleb Sisk, however, has passed Connor Leach for the 3rd spot. He's starting to work his way forward. I think Sisk may have taken care of his tires just a tick better than those ahead of him, which is to no one's surprise. We see that quite a bit with the driver of the number 6 Toyota. Real loose off of 2 is Sisk, though. He's hanging on to it. McCann still the fastest truck on the racetrack, a 32.19 last lap. Albert Anderson was at 32.31, whereas Caleb Sisk was at 32.38. Dickerson in the 13th position, up halfway here from the 26th starting spot. One truck through the grass, I think it was Chris Klein. to find some battles out here on the racetrack. Everyone is settled in nicely, showing a lot of patience here in the early running here at Texas. Jesse Redding looking to the inside on Chris Klein. This for the 11th position. Redding's up 5 spots if he can get clear of the 18. Larry Dickerson's going to try and follow him on through. Jesse just gets a much better exit through the middle of the corner, pulls away from the 18 and 69. So Jesse Redding, 1 position shy of the top 10 as we watch Larry Dickerson go on by the inside on Chris Klein as well. So move Dickerson up to 12th. Dylan Bryant still working his way back towards the front. He's in the 8th position here. Carson Rowland there right with him. I hate to say it, but a rather calm and tame race thus far. Everybody minding their P's and Q's. Now Chris Goins loses his spot to Dylan Bryant. So Goins back to 8th. Keep an eye on the 52. Speaking of guys that might be taking care of some tires, Bryant has been making his march forward here as of late. Now that tire fall off has become an issue. Goins losing another spot here to Carson Rowland. On board with Jesse Redding as he battles with Larry Dickerson. Larry may be clear of him here. He is. A lot of drivers still running right where they qualified. 33 laps in here. Brian McCann, of course, being one of them. Started on pole, runs first. Nick Biddy, 5th, runs 5th. Chris Goins, Mike Fahey, 9th and 10th. Skylar Harrod, 13th. And Joe Bennett, who we watch right now, started 17th, runs 17th. Same story for Ben McKinnon into 12th. 25th, runs 25th. Taking care of the equipment early on. No need to push the issue at this stage of the race. Only 2 sets of tires available over the wall, so these guys need to be careful about that. Don't take them too soon. Mike Fahey still running in the 10th spot, but here comes Larry Dickerson. Mike Fahey, Zach Millett's favorite driver. You think he could spell his last name right? It's all right, Mike's in the service. He doesn't need to spell. Dickerson's fast. He's right there, closing in. Won't be long. Meanwhile, they're both closing in on Chris Goins. Fahey real loose off of 4. Little tiny bit of contact from Dickerson in the dog leg. You got to be careful there. Real easy to spin somebody out if you're making contact in the dog leg. Dickerson backs off a bit, puts a couple of truck lengths space between himself and Fahey. Going to try and set him up again. It's a good exit out of 2. Meanwhile, Brian McCann stretching his lead out to 5.5 seconds over second place Albert Anderson. And Dickerson gets clear. Fahey's going to tuck back in, might try the crossover here. Not enough of a run, a little loose on exit, but no, he's still there. Tucks back in behind. Fahey sticking with the 69 for the time being here. They're similarly paced. Gotta wonder if Larry just burned the tires off a little too much, got some heat into those good years. He's hanging on to it for now. Last lap for Dickerson, a 32.63. Fahey was an 84. We'll see if it's any closer this next time by. $61 to a 71. So next on the hit list for Larry Dickerson will be the 4 of Chris Goins. Dickerson already up 16 positions. He's really marching forward here, and at 40 laps in, really impressed that he hasn't over-abused those tires just yet. He's been able to get into this top 10 here, just the first stint of this race. Goins and Dickerson last laps a half-tenth of each other, so they're awfully evenly matched, at least for the time being. Dickerson closes in here pretty considerably into turn 3 and 4. Oh, big wiggle for Goins. Dickerson to the inside. Take the 9th spot away from Chris Goins. Larry Dickerson continues to march forward, but Goins is going to fight back, or is he? No, he'll tuck back in. And Mike Fahey in pit lane. Green flag stops underway. Mike Fahey, Chris Klein, Jarrett Woodard all opt to hit the pits right now here at lap 43. Not 100% sure this is the end of their fuel window. We'll know for sure if everybody else starts to pull on down. But if you break it up as far as tires are concerned, again, 2 sets over the wall. Fahey and Klein both taking that first set of tires that may force their hand. If this goes green all the way to the end, you may see a splash and go at the end of this race. And Caleb Sisk, he's in the pit lane. So is Connor Leach, Nick Biddy. Not Connor Leach. Connor Leach still on the track. Nick Biddy and Paul Durkee on the pit lane. Oh, a little crossed up into the box. Caleb Sisk, he gets in there effectively, but man, is he crooked. Honestly, set up for a pretty decent exit, though. Doesn't hurt you too bad if you're changing the tires. It's a little rough for the crew to get them changed. We'll see what kind of time he has. Drops the jack, heads back out. Caleb Sisk, 1483, 4 tires in Sunoco race fuel. Biddy's down and away, so is Paul Durkee. Joe David. Milner heads out. Now Chris Goins comes to the pit. So this might be the fuel window for everybody. 40 to 45 laps seems to be about right. Goins just a little deep in the pit box, but not too far. Right side tire in the air. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for the number 4 Hot Tamales F-150. Chris Goins drops the jack, heads back on out. They'll beat Jesse Redding and Skylar Harrod. Connor Leach now in the pits as Dylan Bryant and Larry Dickerson run 1-2. I got to say, if it's just a matter of fuel, I'm impressed at the distance that Bryant has been able to go. Larry Dickerson especially. Larry's up 24 positions. He burned some fuel cutting his way through that field. Connor Leach, though, is going to take 4 tires as well. Now here comes Dylan Bryant into the pits. From the race lead, so is Larry Dickerson. First round of stops here at Texas Motor Speedway. Four tires and fuel for Dylan Bryant. He drops the jack and heads back on out as well. Vincent Short, more of the same. So through that cycle, Brian McCann back out in front with a 7.5-second lead over second place Caleb Sisk. Caleb now in the second position was able to leapfrog Albert Anderson through that cycle of stops. A little bit quicker stop. A little bit quicker on and off of pit lane.
Getting ready to have a caution.
Yeah, the caution comes out.
How are you doing there, bud?
Not sure what for. I'm not getting any indicator on it. Possibly Eddie Rose. Eddie Rose parked there in turn 2. Oh, these guys came together hard. Let's get a better look at this. So the 13 has a pretty good run here to the inside through the dogleg. I don't know if Eddie sees him or not. Actually, it looks like Eddie might have got a little loose at the top. Tough break for Paul Durkee and Eddie Rose for sure. Let's see if I can get a better look on this. That's a good angle. I'm going to back it up again. All right, so exiting the dogleg. Watch the 88. Looks like the rear of the truck steps out just a touch. Yeah, here, right there. Now it's sliding. It's heading down the racetrack as Durkee's trying to come up just to finish his corner. He's expecting Eddie to be up where he was, but Eddie's trying to save the truck. They come together, and the rest is history. That is a very high-speed portion of the racetrack. But interestingly, we're seeing some other drivers come in and pit. Now, I don't think this caught anybody out. This might be a second attempt at a pit stop here, trying to top off fuel. Kind of cycled him forward a little bit. It's still not enough to get him all the way to the end, but it might put him for less fuel in that final pit stop, making it a shorter stop down the road. So first caution of the night. Coming out about lap 47. Just after green flag stops had completed. Furthermore, Jason Steptoe, Tom Barish did not take the green flag, it appears. Both drivers listed out of this race. Just like that, we're on the one to go. So lap 52 will be back under the green flag. Everybody with some fresh tires, a little bit of heat in them already. Very impressive first run here for this series. Texas Motor Speedway, a handful of a racetrack. 47 laps under green. We got to that first round of green flag stops without incident. Of course, we got it right after the green or the yellow flag. What am I talking about? Right after the pit stops. There we go. I'll be all right, I promise. Eddie Rose and Paul Turkey coming together at the exit of the dog leg. Again, going back to that, it looked like Eddie just got a little bit loose on the exit of that dog leg right as he got into the banking of turn one. Turkey came up as he expected he had the room, but just unfortunately didn't. Race and deal. Race truck hits pit road.
Green flag.
There it is, green flag. Side-by-side battle for third. Albert Anderson to the inside of Connor Leach. Off of turn number 2. He's still there to the inside. Brian McCann with the lead. Sisk runs second. Leach gets the better exit. He maintains third for now, but Albert Anderson back on the attack. Not enough room to get down there. Out of turn 4. McCann continues to lead. Top 3 starting to separate. Put some distance back to the 99. And Albert might be thinking about taking care of his equipment now, working on saving some tire for later on in the run. Top 3 in formation into the dogleg. Battle for the race lead. Caleb Sisk to the inside on Brian McCann. McCann hammer down off of turn number 2. Still side by side. They'll drag race into 3.
I think we're under caution here.
And a caution has come out again. Once again, still no indication as to what has caused it. iRacing a little late on that information. Might be Paul Durkee again. He is in the pit lane here getting some service completed. Let's take a look. I don't think that was it. Can rewind it a little further here to be sure. Doesn't appear to be the case. Was it Scott Milner? Oh, happened up ahead of him. We're going to find out here in a minute. Everybody checked up. Still don't know exactly who it was, but Milner was involved to a certain extent. Trying to get a better look here from the Sean Roberts angle. Trying to figure out what really triggered this yellow. Oh, Coleman, and it looks like Pasoko. All right, so at first glance, it looks like there might have been a little bit of contact out of 2. The 11 gets a little crossed up, and then Pasoko doesn't really check up to give him any room to save it. We'll watch it in real time here. Boop. I apologize for not having that any sooner. Typically, iRacing will indicate to me exactly who was involved in the caution. I'm not getting that data, so I got to kind of hunt around to find it. Luckily, we were able to do that. So second caution of the afternoon. McCann still leads, but man, it was close. Sisk was on a charge there. It's right alongside, then the caution came out. Keeps McCann on the front row. Well, let's try this again. Be lap 58 when we go back under the green flag. Ryan McCann, Caleb Sisk on the front row. And Connor Leach, Nick Biddy. Connor Leach, Albert Anderson, then Nick Biddy. Pace truck is in.
Green flag.
McCann with the lead down the back straightaway, but Sisk is right there. Goes topside, looking for a run out of 4. McCann back to start finish, enjoying about a 2 truck length advantage over Caleb Sisk, a 1/10.5, maybe 2 at most. Sisk closes it in just a bit on the entry to 1. Let's ride on board with the 6 and see how he approaches this battle for the race lead. Seemed like the longer and the longer we went in this run, McCann got a little bit faster. Sisk really not gaining any ground here. In fact, losing it slightly. Now it's a quarter-second advantage to Brian McCann. Sisk just might be settling in here, taking care of his stuff. We saw that happen in the first run here. So we're just past halfway here at Texas Motor Speedway. Top three, it's Brian McCann, Caleb Sisk, Connor Leach, Albert Anderson, Nick Biddy, the balance of the top five. We're going to step aside here, get a track limits side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing
Back at Texas Motor Speedway, 70 laps up on the board. McCann still leads now, a 1.3 second advantage over Caleb Sisk. Got to wonder if Brian's pushing just a little bit too hard at this stage of the game. Knowing full well that the 6 is back there taking care of his tires, just waiting for the 7 to start to fall off. Last lap for McCann, a 31.84. Sisk was a 31.99. Meanwhile, change of position in third. Albert Anderson trying to take it from Connor Leach. They're side by side in 3. Still side by side for the third spot. Anderson on the bottom, Leach up top. Anderson takes the spot away, and now pressuring Caleb Sisk for second. Anderson did a good job early on in this run, taking care of his stuff. He dropped back right away, wanted no part of that battle, but now it's paying off for him as he's starting to close in here on Caleb Sisk, now for the second position. Long side into 3, slips up the racetrack, just about 6 inches between the two of them. Off turn number 4, Sisk hangs onto it for now. Meanwhile, Brian McCann's loving every bit of this as these guys run side by side. He can start to increase his lead or opt to take care of his tires a bit while these guys battle it out. Anderson gets it done, up to P2. Mike Fahey running back in 9th. Mark Truxell rounding out the top 10. Truxell, a big mover right now. He's up 19 spots. The second run here starting to line out very similar to the first. Everybody's running pretty well single file, spread out. The battle here and there, nothing too significant. Pit stops are last made around lap 45. Some opted for a quick stop after that lap 45 for fuel. Chris Goins was one of them. He came down at 49. Still a little bit of the time before we get to another round of green flag stops. Now back at about lap 59, I do have an indication that Vincent Short had crashed. Let's take a look at what happened here to the 15 if we can figure that out. 3 wide. Yeah, this is in the dog leg. Such a common theme we have seen here before. All 3 drivers going through the grass. This did not trigger a caution. It's interesting as Vince goes right up the racetrack. If there was traffic coming, that would have been a disaster, but no traffic, thus no yellow. All 3 drivers continue on to continue in this race. Short running 21st. Short in the last truck on the lead lap. Now McCann stretching it out again. 3.3 seconds over second place Albert Anderson, and a change for position up further into the top 5. Skylar Harrod, as we said, he'd work his way through to the front, and here he is in the 4th spot, taking that position away from teammate Connor Leach. But now the Sisk Speed Shop drivers run 3, 4, 5, and 6. You wonder if that's by design. Wow, Harrod and Leach both very loose off turn 4, dirt tracking it. Sisk falling back into the clutches now of the 3 of Skylar Harrod. Skylar has saved his equipment quite well also. All over the back bumper of the 6. Back into turn 1. Whoa, Connor Leach, real big wheel. Look at Michael McDowell out there, but he didn't hit the wall this time. Connor Leach with a great save off of turn 4. How he didn't get that thing into the safer barrier, I won't ever know. Leach hangs onto it, though, still running in the 5th spot. Meanwhile, Skylar Herod has gotten past the 6, jumps into the 3rd position. We'll see if he can set his sights on Albert Anderson. Last lap, though, he was faster than Anderson by almost a full 10th. With that said, though, no one is matching pace with Brian McCann right now. A 32.29 the previous lap, a 32.30 on this lap, so it's no fluke. McCann is fast. Leach now going to lose a spot or take a spot, looks like, from the 6 of Caleb Sisk. Man, these names are getting in my head. I can't even get them right. Caleb's been screwing me up for over a year now. I digress. So Caleb Sisk in the 6, back to 6th. Good God. He's going to come to pit lane. It's time. Shedding too many positions. He wants those fresh tires, or does he take fuel only here? I'm not sure what the plan's going to be. Oh, he goes too deep. Has to back it up. He's going to put that last set of tires on. Meanwhile, Albert Anderson also in pit lane. Sisk down and away 15.95 with the little hiccup into the pit box. Brian McCann off the racetrack from the lead. Skylar Herod will retake the top spot as McCann heads to pit lane. This could be enough to get him to the end here on fuel. Last set of tires going on the 7. Good stop for McCann, 14.52. Meanwhile, Skylar Herod out in front. Then it's Leach, Biddy, Bryant, and Dickerson, the top 5. Fahey and Klein on the pits. So as they run right now, McCann shown in the 17th position, a lap down. Appears to be the first truck one lap down, depending on where Fahey and Klein end up. And green flag pit cycle underway here at Texas. Mark Truxell comes to a stop in his pit stall. (15:42) the time for the 5. Meanwhile, Skylar Herod still out in front. Connor Leach, Nick Biddy, Dylan Bryant, Larry Dickerson still the top 5. Not much has changed there. Herod keeps it in the wood. Coming to the line here. Lap 91 goes up. Will he pit the next time? Herod pit last at lap 44. And we did have a couple of cautions in that mix. Should be able to go a little bit longer, but now he's losing ground to those drivers that took tires. Again, the tire fall off time-wise. Again, Herod's best lap a 30.71. His last lap a 32.47. So tire wear is certainly a thing here at Texas, but he stays out on the racetrack again. The benefit here, the way this race has run green for the most part, he's going to have fresh tires the latter stages of this race, or at least fresher than those that already made their stops. Guys like Brian McCann and Caleb Sisk, they've already made their stops. Their final set of tires have been bolted on. So they're gaining a ton of ground right now. You see Sisk in the frame there. He's going to try and get his lap back the hard way. It goes around the 71 of Leach now. Will we see Herod come down this time? Still no. Sisk goes to the bottom. No real fight from the 3. Teammates and all. Nick Biddy, Joe David, Rick LePage in the pits. And here he comes. Albert Anderson didn't get the memo. Almost gets into the back of the 3. Herod locking him up, trying to get Woad down. Hopefully he got there in time. I tell you, these S3 guys definitely put some work in getting onto and off of pit lane. A little mistake in the box as well. Big mistake for Skylar Herod. Has to straighten the truck out. A couple of corrections. That's going to cost him a couple seconds. That's a lot under green flag conditions. Last set of tires going on the 3. Now Dylan Bryant, Larry Dickerson 1-2. Connor Leach comes to pit lane. Connor Leach in the box, right side tire change. Likely going to be 4 tires and fuel. Drops the jack, heads on out. 14.65, a great pit stop for the 71. Carson rolling now. Jesse Redding, Chris Goins in the pits. Dylan Bryant, still your race leader, needs to make one more stop. Top 3 drivers need to pit still. They're going to have a fresher set than everybody when they finally make it to pit lane. Some damage repair on the 21. Jack is down for Chris Goins. Redding gets out a little bit sooner. Very similar pit stops. Redding a 14.50, Goins a 53. Race leader Dylan Bryant and Larry Dickerson both going to come down and pit. Justin Lawson will inherit the top spot. Now Lawson pit last at lap 55, so he's got a little bit of a buffer there. But McCann has caught him. So Lawson's going to make his pit stop and will likely lose a lap for certain once McCann gets there, or once Lawson pits. McCann back about 5.5 seconds plus. "26 laps to go here from Texas Motor Speedway. It's Lawson, McCann, Sisk, Anderson, Short. The Short now going to hit pit lane. Lawson soon to follow. Johnson short in the pits. .24 laps to go. McCann runs second. And leader Justin Lawson last stopped at lap 55. I think Lawson's going to run this until he's on fumes, knowing that he's going to really need the benefit of that caution to keep himself on a lead lap, knowing he has to pit. So he's going to go to the very bitter end, fingers crossed that we see that yellow flag. If not, he's going to have to bite the bullet, come down and pit. McCann will inherit the top spot. Now, McCann's got about 5 seconds plus back to the 6 of Caleb Sisk. Those two drivers pitting at different times. Sisk was lap 84, McCann 2 laps later. So slightly newer tires underneath the 7. As Lawson finally pits, McCann now takes over the race lead with 23 laps to go. It's Caleb Sisk, Albert Anderson, Connor Leach, and Mike Fahey, the top 5. And looking at that line of trucks there, Connor Leach made his pit stop at lap 94. So he has much fresher tires than that top 5. The next newest set there is going to be Mike Fahey. His stop was at lap 87. It's quite a distance between all those drivers. 5 seconds back to P2. 14 plus back to Mike Fahey. That's just about a half a lap. But if we get a caution and these guys get jumbled back up, those newer tires may come in handy. Again, there's not another set of tires laying over the wall, so you're not going to see these guys pit. You're going to have to see them fight it out. See if talent overweighs grip. Change of position. Fahey slipping back to P7 as Herod takes the 6th spot. Herod's got tires from lap 93, Nick Biddy lap 92. Oh, Fahey real loose off of 4. He hangs on to it. So these S3 guys, they're all working different strategies. Again, there's a team championship at play here. We talked about that in the Open. They're trying to make sure that somebody has a good day amongst the 4 of them. Right now, they're all having a decent day. Speaking of that, there's the championship standings. You want to talk about a team championship, the Gulf Coast Sand Team Championship, S3, with a huge lead over Track Bar Media. Track Bar Motorsports, that is. $19 to go, though. McCann still leads 6.4 seconds back to the 6 of Caleb Sisk. So Brian McCann just on a Sunday drive here, 7.5 seconds up on Caleb Sisk. Then Albert Anderson, Connor Leach, Skylar Herod. Further down the line, Nick Biddy, Mike Fahey, Chris Klein, Larry Dickerson, Mark Truxell. That's the top 10. 15 trucks still on the lead lap. Joe David, the last truck on the lead lap. First driver 1 lap down, Jarrett Woodard. He'd be the lucky dog if we were to catch the yellow. Again, we do have 3 options here, 3 attempts, that is, at a green-white checkered finish if we catch a late caution here. 15 and a half laps to go. It's been a relatively clean race, only 2 cautions to speak of. Battle for second, though. Caleb Sisk, Albert Anderson, and a faster Vincent Short here with new tires, working his way through the field, trying to unlap himself. Vince has got to feel like Captain America in that number 15 with those fresh Goodyears underneath him. Caleb just lets him go. No harm in letting him slide here with 15 to go. Short running 20th. Sisk hanging on to that second spot over Albert Anderson, but Anderson, he's just being smart behind the 6 right now. Doesn't want to push the issue too soon. He's got Connor Leach on the back bumper too. He's got to pay attention to the 71, and Sisk gets the wall off of 4. Pancakes the right side, breaks his momentum. Connor Leach is going to go to the outside. Anderson to the middle. The meat and the sandwich is Caleb. He loses 2 spots out of this. All of a sudden, action has picked up here at Texas. Anderson goes into the second spot, but now he's got to hold off of the 71 of Connor Leach. They're side by side down the back straightaway.
Caution.
And the caution comes out. Oh boy, here we go.
If you want to stay out, we'll stay out.
Russ Endicott, I believe. Yes, it was. Caution number 3 with 11 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway as action was picking up inside the top 3. What happened just a moment ago? Vincent Short drives into the back of the 57. Sends Endicott up the racetrack. Trying to get the best angle on here. It almost looks like the 57 started to come down. I don't know the tire situation on Endicott. Now, if I'm Endicott, my spotter is not saying inside at that point as soon as he starts to turn in. It's very close racing at that point. Tough one to call. Nevertheless, puts us under the caution for the 3rd time tonight. So this is going to set us up for a very interesting finish. Let's go through the line here. Brian McCann took his last set of tires at lap 86. He's the race leader. Connor Leach in second was lap 94. He is in second. I think Albert Anderson is going to be 3rd here. His last stop with 4 tires was lap 85. Caleb Sisk was 84. In 5th place, Skylar Harrod was lap 93. Further down the line, Nick Biddy was lap 92. Pay attention to the 69 of Larry Dickerson. His last stop for 4 tires was lap 98. Not long ago. Talking about 17 laps ago, he took his last set of tires. So this caution bunches these guys back up. You've got drivers with varying levels of grip underneath their trucks. This is about to get interesting. So we're going to get the restart here. It'll be an 8-lap shootout if we go all the way to the end without a yellow, but I don't know. Drivers tend to lose their minds here when it gets down to crunch time. We'll see if this one goes all the way to the end. Pace truck is in.
Ready, green, green, green.
McCann gets away clean, but can he keep it out there? Off turn number 2, McCann taking a defensive exit. Dickerson jumps way to the bottom of the racetrack, tried to make a move on Mike Fahey, nothing doing there. Dickerson now trying to find a way through, knows he's running out of time. Looks to the inside of Mike Fahey. Contact a little bit there, the dog leg, still nowhere to go for the 69. Gets clear of Nick Biddy. Now Dickerson swaps lanes, go to the top of the racetrack. Gets to the outside of the 19. Now closes in on the 6 of Caleb Sisk. 3 wide still into turn number 3. Biddy to the bottom. Fahey in the middle. Wow. So Dickerson now up into the 6th spot, hunts the 6, looking for a 5th place spot now. Less than 6 to go. McCann still leads half a second over Connor Leach. Dickerson with the freshest tires on the racetrack right now, trying to get to the front of the field. Jones pancakes the wall a little bit down the back straightaway, continues on. Dickerson closing in on Albert Anderson and Skylar Harrod as they battle for the 3rd position. Connor Leach real loose off at turn 4. So is Anderson. Contact with Skylar Harrod. Now Anderson in the fence. Oh, big time trouble now. Nick Biddy makes contact. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack. How are we still green? And there it is.
Yeah, but I'll leave this one on you. If you want to stay out, we'll stay out.
So this sets up Larry Dickerson for another opportunity here. He'll restart in the 2nd row, it looks. McCann and Leach on the front. Try to get a look here exactly who else was involved, what triggered this caution. I know it started with Anderson and Harrod. So Biddy goes up the racetrack. Who clips him? Who clips him? But Ryan Pasoko tried to avoid. Then the 24 comes in. Durkee's going to get a piece of this as well. Rick LePage in the 24. Yeah, so LePage went through the grass. Getting debris flying off the... That's the 14. And Pasoko just didn't see Biddy there. Tried to react. Just not enough room to get it done. That was Ryan Kemper cutting through the grass. As we get to the latter stages of this race, Derek Welch has jumped up into the stream chat, finishing up with the games tonight. Just in time for the finish. Now, I'm not sure. This might be setting us up for a natural green-white checkered finish, so not one that would count against our allotment of 3 green-white checkers. This could give us the 1 to go this time. No, this would send us to overtime because we're going to go lap. There'll be 2 to go at the stripe. If we get the 1 to go, that would put us on the white flag lap when we take the green. So we're not going to do a green-white then checker. We're going to send this to extra innings, so to speak, NASCAR overtime. A green-white checkered finish, our first of 3 attempts. We'll see if it is official here at the line. I believe that's going to be the case. Yep, first attempt, green-white checkered finish. We're going to be green the next time, but this is our first try. So the way this works, if you're new to this, this is like extra innings or overtime in hockey. Gabby Benura says that was blasphemous. I don't even know what I said. What did I say? Oh, Lord, what did I do? But anyway, going back to what we were trying to talk about. I feel like I'm in trouble now. We get the green flag, okay? The trick is here we add laps to the race. We get the green flag. Hopefully we get back around. We take the white and then the checkered. However, and that always changes things, if the caution comes out before the leader takes the white flag, we will line them up, we'll add more laps again, and we'll give it another go. That would be our second attempt. We'll do it up to 3 times. Once the leader takes the white, that's all she wrote. No stopping it then. So, front row is going to be Brian McCann, Connor Leach. Row 2, Larry Dickerson, Skylar Herod. Row 3, Caleb Sisk, Chris Klein. Watch that 69 truck. He is hungry for a win.
Green flag.
McCann gets the jump. Leads out of turn number 2. 2 laps to go. Dickerson crosses over. Gets to the inside of Connor Leach. Leach tries to close him off. Has the room. Makes a little bit of contact into turn 3. Forces him in behind. Up the racetrack. Leach trying to block Larry Dickerson. Dickerson's going to make some contact. Leach in the wall. Or no, he saves it. Side by side, Dickerson and Connor Leach for the second spot. White flag in the air. Does he have enough time to catch Brian McCann? McCann into turns 1 and 2. Dickerson up to second. Off turn number 2. There's trouble in turn 2. Skylar Herod and others involved, but they're going to race back to the line. Brian McCann's going to take it, but will Connor Leach fight back? Not enough room. Dickerson's going to end up with second if he can make it back home. Out of turn 4, into the dogleg. Checkered flag for Brian McCann. Brian McCann takes it. Larry Dickerson second. Connor Leach third. Fourth win of the season for Brian McCann. Brian McCann dead set on blowing this thing up. And there she goes. Big time win for the 7 of Brian McCann, 4th on the season. We're going to step aside, get a break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Back at Texas Motor Speedway, this one in the books. Brian McCann picking up win number 4 on the season. Let's get a word with the driver of the number 7 Chevrolet. Brian McCann, it's Steve in the Track Limits booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Brian, congratulations, man. 4 wins on the season to this point. You were just a man on a mission here tonight. Weren't quite there in practice. Second quick to Caleb Sisk, but you got it done when it mattered. Put the truck on the pole position, led the most laps, and drove it to victory. Even fended those guys off on fresher tires in the latter stages with the green-white checkered. Walk us through this race. What makes you so fast around here?
Turning left and going straight, Steve. Just that clean air, too. And, I saw those guys struggling behind me, and good thing I didn't ever have to work with that dirty air. But, man, coming out of 2, I could just see them push the front end. And I was like, oh, man, I bet they don't have any grip. So I think clean air was king here and kept the saving that right front. And then later on in the run, you had to save that right rear. So it's you had to keep it balanced throughout the race, and that was interesting in these trucks. It's one of the few times you have to keep both tires under control.
Clean air certainly very important here tonight. We saw that even in the later stages of each run. Everybody else was starting to fall off, but the guy out in front, you in particular, you were about 0.2 a lap quicker than everybody else just being out there in that race lead. So you took it to victory lane here tonight. You look forward to Kansas Speedway next week. Another 1.5 miles, places that you're dangerous at. How do you feel about making it 2 in a row next week?
Yeah, I think Kansas would be a little funner as far as racing, because I think it was a single line here. It was probably tough to pass. The only way to get around people was the difference in tires. And there at the end, Larry, I think he had a pretty fresh set of tires and looked like he had pretty good speed under him. So shout out to Connor for holding him back for me.
Yeah, Larry had about 12 lap fresher tires and everybody in the top 5 on the restart. So he punched his way through quick. But yeah, that fight with Connor Leach definitely slowed him up. With that said, again, Kansas Speedway next week. Unfortunately, I am traveling for work, so I don't think I'm going to get that one live. We'll try to tape delay it if we can. But nevertheless, Brian, congratulations, man. Who do you want to thank before I kick you out of here?
Thank you, Steve. My family, you for doing the broadcast, league admins, race control for watching over us, spotter repeat 1975, my chat, Derek in the chat, and the drivers, everybody watching tonight. Thank you.
What are you laughing at, Brian?
Kick me out.
Good job, Brian. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Brian McCann, your race winner here, Texas Motor Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the driver, the number 69, Larry Dickerson. Pull him up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our runner-up. Had the freshest tires of the bunch there at the latter stages. Even got the green-white checkered. Had the opportunity. Drove it to the second spot. Started 26th. Finishes P2. Larry Dickerson at Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Got you loud and clear, buddy.
Larry, congratulations, man. A second place. I know it stings. You wanted that win, but a great finish. Drove it from the back of the pack and had those fresh tires late, man. Walk us through the closing stages of this thing here. What could you have done different? I know you didn't want to wreck Connor, but, man, it came close.
Yeah, I had top 10, top 5s. Well, I had top 10 speed all night, but I didn't have no top 5, and sure as heck didn't have no podium speed all night. So my strategy was just to keep stretching out as long as I could every pit stop. And that last stop when everybody came in around, I think it was like 90 to 95, me and Dylan, we sat out to like 98, 99 because we just wanted the fresher tires, and plus Dylan, he's not part of the playoffs, so he wanted to come wreck the party, and he had nothing to lose, and he didn't take no tires on that pit stop. He wanted to save in case a caution came out, and had the fresher tires than all of us. But I took tires, and I think I could have got top 5 if it stayed green before that caution came out for the first initial green-white checkered. But it definitely helped bunched us back up, got everybody back within target of me to take advantage of those fresh tires. It sucks. It stings. I feel like I Bristol all over again. I run a great race. I come so freaking close. But if I could have got clear of Connor sooner on that last green-white checkered, I think I could have had something from Brian. But when he blocked me, it kind of took the air off my nose, and we both washed up the track. And once he did that, Brian was gone. There wasn't nothing I could do.
Well, that said, Larry, still, as you even said, top 10 truck, no way you had podium speed, but here you are on the podium, second place. Look at the bright side, man. You got more than you bargained for, more than you expected. Second place certainly impressive. Job well done. We look forward now to Kansas Speedway next week. Another 1.5 mile racetrack, a little bit different. As Brian McCann said here tonight, kind of one lane groove here this evening, but next week at Kansas, the lanes open up a bit. You've got room to work around. How do you feel about your chances next week?
I feel really good about next week too, because like I said, 1.5 miles is what I'm really good at. And I'm really good at saving tires at some tracks, unlike here. I mean, I was good at saving tires. I just never was good at getting track position. I always had to play it by strategy here at this track. But Kansas, I got pretty good speed, so I'm pretty confident in that one, that I can go up there and maybe get one spot better. Because, like I said, just like Bristol, this one stings because I know I had the first start, I had a chance.
Well, you keep putting yourself in position, Larry. It's going to happen at some point. Just keep it up. You're doing a great job at it. We look forward to that first win of the season. I'm sure it's coming soon, man. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
First off, I want to thank Derek for putting this league together and everything he does. I think we had a pretty good race tonight. We had some long green flag runs, so that was good. It wasn't a wreck fest like a Bristol or Martinsville, so it allows strategy to come into play. Thank all the league sponsors to help put this together. It gives us opportunity to showcase our abilities. Shout out to you for an amazing broadcast. You are no doubt, again, the best in the business in my opinion. Shout out to my teammates. Dylan, I hate the strategy couldn't work out for him, because if it worked out for him, he would have been up there fighting for a podium and possibly a win too. Albert, he had a shot for a top podium tonight. He had a late race wreck. And Russ, enjoy working with those guys. It's a blast. So thank you to all Team Outcast. And shout out to my main sponsor, Angelman Center Foundation. Again, anybody can go donate to that organization, those people, or any forms of autism. You've been on those people an awesome job. They deserve it. They're really good people. And the last two shout outs is Pappy, not gonna be at work tomorrow, buddy, but when you come back to work Thursday, I gave it everything I had, represented the Elliott name. So Elliott's ran strong again tonight, so shout out to my buddy Pappy Ted at work. And the last one is Jody. She's a really cool person. I have all the respect for her in the world, and she's very important to me. And tonight was our first time seeing the broadcast and seeing what I like to do in my free time. So shout out to Jody if you're watching or even watch the replay. Shout out to you, and can't wait till next week.
All right, Larry. Well, thanks for talking to us. Good job again, and good luck next week.
Appreciate it, buddy. Catch you next week.
Larry Dickerson, your runner-up here at Texas Motor Speedway. Next, we'll talk to the 71 of Connor Leach. Really put up the battle there late in the going against Larry Dickerson. Still was not able to hold him off for the second spot, but still a top 3 finish for Connor Leach. Connor, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Steve.
Connor, congrats, man. A front row starting position. Ran up there in that top 10, top 5 most of the evening. Held onto this thing. Green-white checkered finish. Had to hold off a hard charge in Larry Dickerson with some fresher tires. Weren't able to do it, but man, you certainly made it exciting to watch. Walk us through the closing laps of this one.
Oh, man, I thought I had a pretty good strategy going there with staying out a lot longer. We had Caleb, he threw a little Hail Mary, and Brian was so far ahead with the clean air and just driving the track really well, and he was so far ahead. We figured out, Caleb came in early when the pit window opened and hoping that, you could maybe try something, maybe it goes green, and that would have worked out, but then Brian followed that strategy, so that kind of covered him off. And gosh, when that caution come out near the end there, I thought, I got a pretty good shot. I think I have the freshest tires of all the guys, but I drove it pretty hard coming through the field, trying to get back up to, I guess I came back up to second there. And man, I thought I had a pretty good shot, but I think I drove the tires off it pretty hard during that run where Brian was probably able to just sort of cruise around and keep running his laps and have clean air. But yeah, it was a super strong result for the team up until a few laps to go there. We had I think we had 4 of us up in the top 5 pretty easily, and and one got taken out, and then another got taken out with that last restart there. And we ended up with 2 cars in the top 5, which is good, but could have been a lot better for the team. We all ran really good races. Skyler, he was right there hunting me down, passed me a couple times, and Nick was right there in the top 5 with all of us. And yeah, it just didn't work out for the team in the end, but I'm glad we got one truck up on the podium.
Well, he certainly made it interesting. It was fun to watch. We're kind of watching your hairy entrance to pit lane here at one point during the race. Kept that thing straight, but again, still a third place finish here. Nothing to be too disappointed about. Things change rapidly at the end of these things, but all we can do is look forward. Kansas Speedway next week. Again, another 1.5 miles, a fast 1.5 miles. A little bit wider as far as lanes in the racetrack that you can actually use. How do you feel about another solid finish next week for S3?
We're hoping maybe we can get a couple of us up there at the front and have a good run. Hopefully it's a little bit better of a track than here. Here it was like, man, if you got behind someone, it was just, you're burning your tires up. And you don't feel like you are, but holy smokes, you come down pit lane. Yeah, well, you saw me have a little tank slapper coming down pit lane, but once you got in there and into your box, you look at the tires and man, they were worn out bad. So definitely a tire saving, but you can't really tire save because if you let someone pass you, then you'll never get past them again. So it's a tough battle out there with this track and this car combo.
Certainly interesting to watch. You made it look good. All you guys really did a great job, even with the difficulty in passing with the dirty air, so on and so forth. Brian McCann even mentioned it as well. He says, I don't know what it was like to be in dirty air, but watching my mirror, I didn't want to know what it was like because it looked hairy. But nonetheless, Connor, congratulations, man. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
Shout out to Nick Biddy Designs. We got some new wraps on a few of the cars out there tonight. Some new playoff looks and just changing it up a little bit. He did a good job on all of them. And shout out to everyone on the team. Caleb, man, we were close. He was up underneath Brian McCann there at one point, and then the caution come out just before he could get past him, and we had a run coming, and that could have changed the whole game. But yeah, Caleb and Nick Biddy, Skyler Harrod, Joe David, pretty strong result for all of us. I think we got 2 of us in the top 10, but it should have been a lot more than that.
All right, Connor. Well, again, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week at Kansas.
All right, Steve. Thanks for putting on the show.
Thanks. Connor Leach, third place finisher here at Texas Motor Speedway. That's going to do it for the interview portion of tonight's show. Let's get a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to Brian McCann, Larry Dickerson, Connor Leach. Fourth place was Caleb Sisk. Mike Fahey finishes in the top 5. Solid run for the 19 here tonight. Mike Fahey, a New York State native, but I think he makes his home now in the state of Texas. So I guess kind of a pseudo home race for the driver of the number 19. Double O Joe finished in the 6th spot. 7th was Jesse Redding. Chris Gones was 8th. 9th, Mark Truxell. 10th, Joe David. Chris Klein finished 11th. Vincent Short drove it back to a 12th place finish. Justin Lawson 13th. Albert Anderson, after a late race incident, finishes in the 14th position. 15th, that went to Skyler Harrod. Carson Rowland was 16th. Jarrett Woodard 17th. Ryan Pasoko 18th. Dylan Bryant 19th. 20th was Ryan Kemper. 21st, Ben McKinnon. 22nd, Sean Roberts. Nick Biddy was 23rd. Russ Endicott 24th. Jonathan Marsh 25th. Rick LePage 26th. Scott Milner finished in the 27th spot. 28th, Paul Durkee. 29th, Brandon Coleman. Eddie Rose was 30th. Tommy Welch 31st. Jason Steptoe and Tom Barish did not take the green flag. They will be credited with 32nd and 33rd positions. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't already done so, click the thumbs up. That's the like button. It helps us. It's free. It's a good thing for everything. It sends the video and the streams out to some new faces that may not have seen it before. That helps us here as the channel, as well as the league potentially, if there are iRacers out there that are checking things out. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're again started the new year off over 1,000, so that's exciting to see. Looking for more. I guess 2,000 is the next goal, but it's going to take some time, but we need your help to do it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Again, as I mentioned in the interviews, I'll be traveling for work next week. I will not be broadcasting, at least live. There's still that potential to do a tape delay. I know Derek and Lori both with the VRL, they tend to do that on occasion depending on if the race is good or not. So stay tuned for that. If we get a good race, they'll probably have me do that. If not, it's not the end of the world. We'll see at the one after that. But with that, again, congratulations, Brian McCann, win number 4 on the season. Thank you guys all for tuning in and watching. We'll see you at the next one. Have a good night.